When I was on the stage with Michael Moore, I know all this politics crap would be brought up and everything like that, and I just had to let him know. I just whispered in his ear, and I just said, I just want you to know it was not because of the politics that you won this award. You won it because we thought it was the best film that we saw. And then he turned to me and he goes, that means more to him than anything. He goes, if I wanted to make political statements, I would run for office. I want to make movies.
So I opened up my eyes, and I took a look around. I saw it written across the sky. The revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now.
This film does something quite exceptional. It validates cinema. Because let's face it, the things that Michael Moore is saying in this film cannot be said in TV media in the United States at the moment.
What is so great about this work of art is that those people who haven't seen it have already made up their minds whether they love it or they hate it. Isn't this great in this country that you can have something like that?
I would love to have a White House screening of this film. I would attend it. I would behave myself.
This is a film that doesn't require us to actually view it to know that it's filled with factual inaccuracies.
I have always been a big believer in the flaws of capitalism. And the greatest flaw is that they will sell you the rope to hang themselves with, that greed ultimately wins out.
If they're going to have censorship about anybody who has any comment to make on the war president, and I might add the jobs president as well, if we can't say anything, the vacation president, the education president, the reading of fables to students president.
We have to have our minds clear. We can't let people play on our emotions. If we're going to fight an enemy, we need to know who the enemy really is.
People will see this film, you know. By hook or crook, people will see this film. I will get this film out to an American audience. They will see this film.
I was walking down the street in the town where I was born. I was moving to a beat that I never felt before. Where you work and where you play, where you lay running down, what you do and what you say. The revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now.
A friend of mine made the comment, we're surprised this movie got made. We're even more surprised that it's being shown in theaters, and we're totally shocked that it's still out.
I think one of the most important things in Fahrenheit 9/11, and one of the reasons that everyone in Washington needs to see this movie, is the fact that it shows what it looks like to be in Iraq. It shows what the servicemen over there are going through. It shows what the Iraqi people are going through. This movie showed for the first time my nightmares.
He's courageous and he's also extremely talented, and I respect him a lot.
I think that this movie is a gift to the American people. I am so thankful that it got the awards it got in Cannes, because I know we would not be seeing it otherwise.
Great film. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for making this movie.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
It hits home, and we have a son, so it's like...
Thank you, man.
Good job, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
It was great. Hope everybody sees it. It was great.
You're the man.
Great job.
God bless you. God bless you.
First base, Mike.
Here comes Fahrenheit 9/11, like a breath of fresh air. It was like a release. And I'm here to tell you, as a 9/11 survivor who's followed this from day one, that there is not anything in there that is questionable. He put out information that could be proven.
We finally got to see some real negative sides expressed by the soldiers who are fighting over there. You never get to hear that.
I was one of those poor kids that joined so I could get the GI Bill and become a teacher. And that's what a lot of these kids did. They joined the Army to go to school. And now they're fighting and dying. And it's senseless.
I think it was a wonderful movie. almost frightening because the way it depicted our government, and it was so sad to see how we almost been tricked into, supporting this war and all the soldiers that's been lost and all the Iraqis that's been killed.
And that's the importance of Michael Moore's movie Fahrenheit 9/11. It gives this country permission to talk about things that this administration does not want us to talk about. It gives us all permission to at least ask the questions and have the dialogue.
We in the Congressional Black Caucus, we are 39 ordinary people called to an extraordinary mission. And so often, Mr. Moore, it seems as if some people want to silence us. But the fact is that we have consistently stood up for issues that go to the center of people's lives. We were the ones that stood up against this Iraq war. We are the ones that have addressed issues of people who are struggling to make it through life. We are the ones who have talked about President Bush and some of the deceptive tactics that he and his administration have performed on this country. We are the ones. And so what you have done, while we try to give voice to the voiceless, this film, we believe, will give voice to our voices.
This is supposed to be America. In God we trust. God didn't let us down, but our public officials did. So we need to do something about that.
Have any of us in America, any of us, seen a single anchor or news person confront Mr. Bush with a hard question and then not let him out of it when he tries to give his bullshit response?
It come to be, and the people gather around.
Have you seen Fahrenheit 9/11?
What do you think?
We've heard what Bush has to say. We've seen it. We live with it daily, all of us. This is an answer.
Revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown.
I was very disappointed they put an R rating on this movie. They should put an R rating on the war.
What we've decided to do here at the Grand Lake is to not enforce the R rating, because after seeing the film, it became very clear to me that the R rating was politically motivated and absolutely uncalled for. I think this is a film that all young people should see. It's an important movie, and their future is at stake.
I was so astounded by what I saw. I mean, there was so much, and it was like, oh my gosh, this really happened? And I mean, it really brings you down to earth and lets you know what's really going on. And it really makes you want to just hurry up and turn 18 so you can get down to them registration booths and go ahead and change how things are. But even though we are not 18, we can still change the way things are today by going out to the precincts and telling people what's really going on. And I recommend this movie to all Americans. And they say this movie isn't a very patriotic movie because it is against they say it's against the president, but really it's more patriotic than probably any of the other documentaries you will see, because they always are saying, oh, the president did this for the country, oh, the president did that for the country. But here in this movie, you really see what's really going on in the White House and what is really happening to America.
People coming out of here feel empowered. They don't feel weak. They don't feel put upon. They believe that they can go out and make a change. They will make a change. And so it's the kind of energy you can't manufacture, that only the truth can bring about.
He's reminding everybody that the citizens of America own this country, not the politicians. They're supposed to represent us.
This documentary is telling the truth regarding a lot of issues where the truth has been suppressed for the last 3 years. And if people are going to vote, they deserve to know the truth about these issues that affect us.
This movie makes people angry and makes them ask questions, or reminds them of questions they were asking a couple of years ago but have given up on because nobody answered.
We're in a very strange place that people try to convince young folk that this is not like Vietnam. Well, anyone who tells you this is not like Vietnam, read my lips, they're lying. This is exactly like Vietnam. It feels the same, it looks the same. Even the folk involved look the same way. When they stand on television and say what they said, that's exactly what Russ said. It's exactly what McNamara said. It's exactly what Johnson was saying. All those players, that cast of characters, said the same thing that these folk are saying right now.
You know, I stood up for principle in this film to do what was right. You know, I honored my commitment to my country. I went and fought in a war that I did not believe in. I've killed people. I've seen men die. And for what? I want you to ask yourself that question. What was this war about? When you leave here, when you go back to your states, and when you go back into your homes. But this is what I want you to do for me. Get involved. Politics runs your life. It depends. They put together budgets and ideas that put food in your mouth, clothes on your back. So get out there, do your deed, and vote. That is the biggest responsibility that you have to yourselves and this country. People have died for us to have the ability to vote. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Yeah, the revolution starts now.